Somebody told me I wasn't a true fan if I couldn't acknowledge what Hogan did for the business, and I countered with, "You're not a true fan if you can't acknowledge what Hogan did to the business." We made a god of yellow and red. We built coliseums for our champion and filled them with fireworks, foam fingers, and fever. We crowned a false king with a blonde halo and a merch deal, mistaking volume for virtue. He was the sunburnt pharaoh ruling over a locker room of builders, turning union talk into whispers, watching his brothers bleed coin while he polished his fifth mansion with the tears of the undercard. They built him from thunder, poured bleach in his veins and named it charisma. We called him immortal. We called him a hero. We said our prayers, ate our vitamins, and chanted a man into legend. But what good are the prayers of a man who broke the religious covenant of marriage? What vitamins are as good as the steroids he lied about taking and selling? What kind of legend hoards the spotlight like a belt he never really earned? He was never Atlas. He was gravity, clutching the main event with white-knuckle panic lying in every flex that he carried the business. He didn't. He chained the business to himself. He was the weight, a golden yellow anchor rusting fast, chained to a dream he never dreamed for anyone else. What kind of hero slams the door on a union, then pretends he was never backstage while the real ones broke bones and bank accounts to keep the house alive? Is it legacy when it's carved from the cartilage of better men? Hogan was a gimmick built from Vince McMahon's wallet and another man's sweat. The push he got could have launched any of 100 hungry wrestlers, men who didn't need to bury black talent to raise their own gimmick to the rafters. Ask Brett, ask Savage, ask Jesse when he tried to get health insurance for the boys. Says loyalty but drops a leg on anyone who questions the script. He posed in the mirror while others laced up with broken fingers and no health care. He preached America. Sold us Hulkamania but never told us it came with a price. The price of every wrestler forced to blade and bleed for a payday while he politicked in bandanas and hoarded every main event like it was his birthright. Hulk Hogan was never the face of wrestling. He was the mask it wore. And behind it, just another man desperate to stay over even when the match was long done. We sculpt our myths from muscle. Chisel gods from glistening flesh, wrap them in boas, paint their lies red and yellow, call them legends, icons, immortals. But what if that immortality was just rot that refused to die? We cheered a man who told kids to say their prayers and eat their vitamins while he tore down locker rooms with backdoor politics, bit the hands of better men, then shook hands with devils behind closed curtains. Terry Bollea, the name beneath the mask, was no real American unless America means cheating on your wife, dropping N-bombs on sex tapes, and dragging the future of a sport into the mud just to keep your spot at the top of the marquee. He could have changed the world. Instead, he sold it back to us marked up and hollow. Because he wasn't the best. He was just best friends with the man who held the money. Vince's chosen one, fed megaphones and main events while others fought for crumbs. You slammed Andre? Cool. But you buried Brett. You crushed Savage's comeback and made sure no one left the shadow of your bald, bloated brand. The man was a mausoleum of what could have been. A haunted house of ego, every door locked behind the promise of opportunity. He wasn't a hero, he was a landlord of spotlight. Renting legacy by the minute, charging souls by the hour, and they still chant. They still wear the shirts. They still act like the prayers and vitamins meant anything. But you were never the business. You were the bloat, the lie, the tantrum in the tanning bed, the final boss of ego, the poster child for white saviors in do-rags. You didn't raise the ring. You built a ceiling, and then climbed on top of it to piss on the future. And now, black fans watch, white friends mourn. loudly, blindly, like he wasn't on tape slinging slurs with comfort. And what message does that send? He said his prayers to money, to clout, to himself. So let the record books bleed, because wrestling didn't need Hulk Hogan. Wrestling needed a future, and all Hogan gave us was a past that never learned how to grow.